La battaglia comincia.
Hey, what is going on YouTube? Aaron here. We are in the Gorizia, the newest addition to the game, the Tier 6 Italian premium cruiser, and just like my clickbait title says, it's actually not clickbait then, this ship is incredibly underwhelming. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was just about to rip this one a new one, but after one game, you know, in a Tier 5 lobby, I had a decent time, but I can only imagine what would happen if this thing made it into a Tier 7 lobby. It's just not good. It has a 15-second reload, and I don't even know why I did that, because now I can't even shoot at the ships here. But we're specking this thing for concealment, and as always, our specs and commander build will be at the end of the game. We're running a little bit of concealment, although concealment is useless 90% of the time. So I don't know why everyone's always like concealment, but we'll try and. Oh, my left trigger's stuck. That was actually a pretty good hit there. Pop our hydro because we have it.
Rilasciata cortina fumogena.
My left trigger's at. There we go. Probably for me throwing my controller so much after playing the champagne. But I mean, if you just look at the stats of the ship, you can tell it's bad. And everyone's always like, well, you know, I had like a 90k damage game once against like 3 failed divisions. So I mean, you're just bad. And guys, if you want to buy the ship and play it and have fun with it, that's totally on you. By all means, you know, go for it. Any decent player in you know, playing against potatoes can have a good game. So if you want to try and meme and have fun with the ship, go for it. It's just, you're not going to see any of these in Tier 6 ranked or Tier 6 arena, or, you know, maybe for the memes, but beyond that, it's just, yeah. We have a good team presence here, and one thing this ship will excel at is an overly aggressive team, and that's kind of what's going on here. It has decent guns for what it's worth. I will say that the guns are as we're getting bounced up and down by an Ismail. Let's see if we can. I mean, that's an excellent salvo. I'm not gonna lie. But again, that's a broadside Trento at yeah. We turn it all. No. So we're gonna disengage and use our concealment to reposition here, which is exceptionally useful. I run concealment on the Amalfi and the yeah, what's it called? We're gonna get our rudder back. On the Amalfi and the Mino. The Mino is pretty good at that, but you have smoke and you have so much more utility in the Mino. It's not even a comparison. The Amalfi is also infinitely better because you have 9 guns, of which you can go 42 knots, I believe, and turn nearly on a dime. Now I think we're gonna get spotted. Yeah, the destroyer's over here, so not ideal for pushing and shooting and things like that. But with a little bit of rudder, and again, I'll show you guys the build at the end of the game, you can kind of wiggle your way out of, you know, certain salvos. But 37,000 health, no heals. It's not great. I'm being honest. You guys know me. I'm kind of honest through and through. Something else that is also just absolutely kind of atrocious in my opinion is no torpedoes. How do you give this thing, like, how do you release a ship with a 15-second like base reload without torpedoes? Uh-oh. Island boy! But we're going to take a shot at a destroyer at 11 kilometers, and if you look at that, I hit a destroyer 4 times at 11 kilometers. And just an argument I saw on a Facebook page is like, why would you shoot at a destroyer at 9 kilometers? It's other people's... No. For the love of God, please shoot at destroyers. Sorry guys, I'm kind of rambling here. I'm on a soapbox. I'm tired of Wargaming kind of releasing half of a ship, you know, and selling it for $60 or whatever. Fuck. Whatever the price of a ship is nowadays, and then, you know, people still try to defend it, you know? Like, it's not a terrible ship. I'm managing it, as you can see, 38,000 damage, a couple citadels on broadside targets here. But the Italians need SAP. That's what's their unique trait is on PC. And that's what makes them so unique and so fun and so playable. And if you don't give them that, and then you release a ship, it's like, you know, it's like completing your project but not doing the research on the project. really want to kind of just eat these broadsides here, because this AP seems to be doing the trick, but... we're just going to have to continue to kite. Now again, we do have our smoke to disengage, and these Trentos are actually playing it pretty well, but I think I'd rather play the Trento than the... I think I'd rather play the Trento than the, than this thing at tier 5. Mainly because it has torps. As our team folds like an absolute cheap piece of patio furniture. But I mean, that's kind of fitting for, you know, the game type. And there's a terrible salvo. That's honestly the worst salvo I've gotten, though, in terms of dispersion and ellipses. We're gonna kite towards this end of the map. I really hope that, dude. Can you guys be any worse? I mean, for heaven's sake. All right, we're just gonna shoot. This is all my review needs to be. I really don't care about having a good game. Again, I don't want to sound like super overly negative, but there's nothing special about this ship. There's absolutely nothing special about it. Like I said, the guns are the only redeeming quality, and I thought the guns wouldn't be as good as they are, and they're, you know, they're semi-decent. I will give the ship that. It's got average maneuverability. We're speccing a lot into maneuverability and concealment. So, you know, even with that, we still have a decent bit of, you know, dispersion and accuracy here. But the armor also isn't terrible, I will say. So, you know, again, it's not like, what's something that's just, well, the York is not terrible now after that buff. And the Riegerwald commander, but that's a different conversation that we've already had. So, I mean, you know, kiting and spamming HE is going to be a staple of the Italian ships, but I think there are better ways to play the game, in my opinion. If you see the enemy Weimar, hopefully this isn't a Citadel. The enemy Weimar already has a high caliber, has already dev struck a battleship. So if you want a much better ship, there you go. Destroyers in B. I could probably get a high caliber here with just the fires and things like that, but my team is not gonna let me. They're literally just all gonna die and they're gonna point out. It's kind of sad, really. Like I don't get it, but that's something that will always be in this game. Is just teammates who yeah. But again, and it's kind of fitting that that this is the way this game is going. It's almost, you know, typical of the it's almost symbolic of the ship. Alright, so he's probably launching his torps. We're gonna aim high because I'm guessing he's gonna turn out. I mean, like I said, the guns, when you get people sailing broadside, the guns don't do terrible, but maybe in a division, I don't know. I'll have to try and meme it. We'll see. Oh, I'm probably dead. I got lucky on that. I'm targeted by 2. Is it the Bayern or is it the Destroyer? The Destroyer just captured B. Honestly, if I had more time, I could probably win this game. Wait, we need to get you off the board. Okay, so somebody else is shooting. Fire out. It's a Weimar. I'll never ever be able to kill him.
Danno critico a torretta principale.
Torretta principale. My Italian ancestors are probably cringing in their grave. I mean, isn't that so much more fun just sitting in the back at 30 kilometers? Again, one of the problems, like you saw I got a double fire, which is pretty decent RNG there. And do we get a fire? No. So with a 15-second reload, you're not able to really even HE spam like you need to. I kind of want to kill that guy. Okay, now that's a fire, but I'm guessing he has a damage con back like soon.
Abbiamo distrutto una corazzata nemica.
I mean, we've had a good game, but all we've done is kite to the back of the map. I absolutely detest this playstyle. Now, what were we supposed to do when our team folds, like we said, like cheap patio furniture? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. But I'd rather sit and bow tank in a cap and try and contest it, or kite, you know, I don't know. It's just... This is not how I prefer to play the game. Let's say that. If you want to slap a rudder build on every ship you own, that's your choice. Go ahead, play the game like that. But I prefer to be up close to the cap, engaging in the cap circles, really trying to influence the game. Oh shit. Port bounces. See if we can get out of this. Smoke firing penalty. Almost yeeted the shit out of him though. If we can survive this, then we'll maybe get a Confederate. I mean, hey, that's a perfect game to describe the ship. How do we get... We outplaced everyone on our team by... What is that, 800? 850 XP? I mean, there's a perfect example of a good ship and just a bad ship in a good team and a bad team. So, if you want to spend your money, it was the Weimar. I think you can still buy the Munchen. Here was another game we had. So this is our second game if you want to use my judgment based on that. But I don't... Like I said, I know how to play the game and I know how to judge ships, and this is just not a great ship. It can be a fun ship. We had 11 fires there, 139 target hits for 126k, so less than 1,000 less than 1,000 per shell hit. Now again, we had a few bounces at the end there off the angled Weimar, but you know, so less than 1,000 per hit with 11 fires and an arsonist. So you know, you can be the judge yourself, but let's go ahead and show you guys the stats of the ship. This will sit in my port forever. I might play it 2 other times. Yeah. So the stats, survivability, you saw it in the game, 37,100. Artillery, 4x203s, and like I said, the guns are probably the only redeeming quality about this ship, except you have a 14.1 second reload, and I think that's with Mimbelli as an inspiration, so you're getting a little bit off of reload there. AA defense is abysmal. It's an Italian. It's 39. Somebody's going to tell me how these are like, well, the short range is... No, it's just not great. Maneuverability, like we said, is pretty decent. You got a tight turning circle. We have our rudder down to 5.9 with a 36 top speed. You can maneuver fairly well. So if you can get a team to chase you while your other team doesn't die in the first 8 seconds of the match like ours did that game, then you might be able to rack up some damage and do what an Italian cruiser is meant to do without getting the loss. But again, that requires you to have a good team. That playstyle requires you to have a good team, and as we know in Legends, that is very hard to come by. That's kind of why I play in Divisions all the time, because it's a team game. Concealment, as you saw, if you're paying attention to games, 8.9, which again, I had somebody say like concealment. Okay, I was shooting the entire game, so other than when I was in my smoke, which concealment wouldn't matter then, except minus the smoke firing penalty. What does concealment do to really help me in that situation? Now we were going to try and get in the cap. That was my plan, but as you saw, the destroyer came. So in a game like that, when there's only one destroyer, you can sneak into a cap and maybe get it. But there were a few other Trentos there who played pretty well in pressing forward. If you notice, the enemy team was aggressive and they won the game. They also didn't die immediately. So, and here's our commander. It is Francesco. I don't know how to say it in Italian. Mimbelli. He's got his base trait is reload of your cruiser's guns. We've got Ingenious, Full Speed Ahead, Velocious, and Steer Clear, and Fully Packed there with, like we said, Makawa and Baltimore as inspirations. So pretty much almost a near full Agile build. We are not running rudder because you don't need to turn. You don't need a. There's not that much difference between a 2-second rudder and a 4-second rudder. If you want to turn even more, but we survived up until getting shot at by the rest of the remaining enemy team with our current situation. So there she is. She actually does have pretty good propulsion. I will note that as well because we chose steering gear just to get a little extra because without this the rudder was like 8 seconds, I think. What is it now? 5.9. That's actually not. You could run, I guess, steering gear in slot 3, but I don't know. I wanted to try concealment for some reason, so steering gear might actually be a better option than slot 3 in there, and then obviously aiming systems. So that is the ship, guys. This is definitely not a buy recommendation for me. If you're a collector, sure. If you are a super unicum who is bored with the game and has trust fund, then by all means buy this and try to get a good game. I'm sure anyone can load this into a tier 5 lobby, as I did the game before, and do well. That doesn't really make you a good player by playing against subpar players. I judge ships based on how if I was going against like Chile games. If I'm going against Chile in this thing and he's in the Weimar or pretty much any other cruiser, I am getting absolutely dumpstered. I'm probably getting dumpstered anyway because it's Chile or another great player, but in the Weimar I would stand a chance. In the New Orleans I would do okay bow tanking. You know what I mean? And that's not. You shouldn't judge every ship like that, but that's kind of how I do a lot of my my bases and my judges. So that's the ship review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I really hope SAP comes to Legends in a form other than secondaries. We had fun memeing the secondaries, but the perk of the Italians, what makes them unique, is their SAP. And for those that don't know, that is semi-armor piercing, which it's a mix of an HE and AP shell, and you can look up the exact specifics, but it pretty much does damage at most angles. You can have a bow tanking Yamato, and I think they did like 15k in the video. So it's a nice perk to make these types of ships worth it. But in the meantime, it just has HE and the regular AP. Now it does have some other utilities like a sonar. But how useful was the sonar in that game? The rolling smoke, the exhaust smoke generator was semi-useful, but again, I feel like I'm getting half of a ship, and how much is this in the store? That's not the price. That's like the bundle. Please don't be fooled with the bundles. So 12,500, and then how much is 12,500 doubloons? So you almost get it there. So 40. Let's say you have some doubloons and you get this $40 for that. Dude, that's. I cannot. I'm sorry. I try to be fair to Wargaming, but I just cannot recommend people to buy this ship. And that's coming from someone who was like, buy the Weimar day one, So people will be like, oh, he's salty, CC, he gets it for free. You can say whatever you want. That's my review. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Aaron out. Peace.